Do you like Photoshop and Lightroom's subscription service? Are you tired of paying those monthly subscription fees? If so, tune in today because we're going to look at an option to Photoshop. I think you might be interested in this one, so stay tuned. Today I thought we would take a look at Luminar. They have a new version coming out December 18th called Luminar 3. Right now we're in Luminar 2018. Now the cool thing about Luminar 3, they are adding a DAM, a digital asset management system built into Luminar, which is going to make it a really, really powerful program. Right now it's going to sell for retail for $69, but right now you can get it for $59, and it's got a bunch of bonuses that comes with it as well. But I'm not affiliated with Luminar in any way, but I just wanted to show this to you because you know what, guys, depending how much you need to do to your images, this may be a very viable option to Photoshop now that we have this digital asset management system built in. So if you want to ditch Lightroom and you want to ditch Photoshop, you don't want to pay that monthly subscription fee for the photography program, this might be the way to go. And I thought I would demonstrate it for you today. So let's hop on over to Luminar so I can show you. This is an image I got off the internet. It's just a stock image. This is the before. And the cool thing about Luminar is, and this is Luminar 2018, it has a full history, so it's very cool. You can view the entire history here, and it saves it right along with the image, which is nice. So here's where I started, and here's where I ended up with. Give it a second here to render, because I did a lot of different things to it. Now, okay, so here is the before, and here's the after. Okay, and the cool thing about this is you can use plugins. Now, I like On1 software, but I don't like the fact that I can't use plugins inside of On1 software. Photoshop lets me use plugins, so I love Photoshop. Plus, Photoshop's a very powerful program. It lets me do pretty much anything that I want to do. Another thing I like about Photoshop is I can use luminosity masks and things like that in there. The lasso tool and selection options are really powerful inside of Photoshop. Luminar is not going to give you all those capabilities. However, it's very powerful, and it can pretty much do, I would say, even for myself, guys, maybe 85 to 90% of my workflow can be done right here inside of Luminar. So if you don't want to take your images as far as I'm taking mine, this may be the way to go. And the cool thing about it is you can use plugins. So look up here, see where it says plugins? Here's all your plugins, and these are all the plugins I use inside of Photoshop, right? And I can use them from Luminar, which is really cool. And I'm going to show you how that all works, guys. So here's what I want to do. I want to come up here to the history and click this little reset button right here, and this will get me back to scratch. And let's start all over again. All right, the first thing I want to do is get a workspace. Now, Luminar comes equipped with all these different workspaces. There's a professional workspace, which has a lot of different filters and things that you can use. I'm going to use one called Quick and Awesome. And the reason I'm using this because I want to use the artificial intelligence filter, which is fantastic. It does a really great job, as you'll see here in a second, and the sky enhancer. Let's do the sky enhancer first. Check this out. It is artificial intelligence, and watch when I drag this to the right. It's super cool. It only affects the sky. You notice that. It's not really affecting the water. It's just affecting the sky. It can see different colors in the sky. It just doesn't have to be blue, and it'll affect clouds different than it affects the blue parts of the sky and things like that. So let's just add a little bit of sky enhancement here. Let's go up to the AI filter. A lot of times, guys, it's just these couple filters you adjust, and you could pretty much be done. They're super powerful. They're really, really nice. Okay, and then you have masking that you can do to any of the filters, which is really cool. And you'll see some of that coming up here shortly. I'm not going to mess with the vibrance or the clarity here because I think this overall mood and of this image. Looks really nice. So the thing I want to do now is pick a plugin. And this is where the power of Luminar comes in too. It lets you use plugins. Like ON1 software, you cannot use a plugin inside of ON1. You have to like save it out and then go to a plugin. But with Luminar, you can go out to a plugin, come back into Luminar, go out to another plugin, come back into Luminar, add filter effects in Luminar, go out to another plugin. I mean, it's super powerful. It's really nice. And I would say I could do probably about 85% of my workflow with Luminar. Now, it depends how far you wanted to go with editing your images. For a lot of photographers, that's really all they need. And for the most part, that's all I would really need. So I do like some of the extra features in Photoshop, like selections and luminosity masks and things like that I can use. And I think eventually Luminar will add a lot of these different features. But for now, I'm still going to use Photoshop. But I'll tell you, depending how far you want to go, you can get a lot done inside of Luminar. And for a lot of photographers, that's all they really need. And that's why I really want to show this to you today, to see if this might be an option for you. All right, so let's go up here to plugins. And I'm going to go to, what do I want to go to first? Oh, yes, I want to go to Topaz Studio. And I want to go to precision detail, because what I want to do is to this boat right here, I want to add some detail to the boat. And only the boat, because I like the way the rest of the image looks. Okay. So now I'm going to go to adjustments here, coming to precision detail. And I'm going to start moving the overall small detail up. I'm not worried about what's happening to the rest of the image. I know it's going to look horrible, but I'm only really looking at the boat. I'm going to overall small detail boost, bump that up just a little wee bit. I'm going to add a little bit of overall medium detail to it and a little bit of large detail, not much, right like so, and click OK. That's all I'm going to do with that. Now, again, the rest of the image looks horrible, but I'm going to just mask that onto the boat. And now I'm going to show you how this masking tool works here. See this little brush icon? You give that a click and then click on brush. And you have your choice of brush, radial, mask, or gradient. Eventually I'll show you how these other ones work. But for now I'm going to brush on my mask here with a brush. So let's just click on brush. You'll be using the brush a lot. Right now the size is at 100% and softness is at 100% and opacity is 100%. I want it at 100%. Let's see here. And you can use your left and right bracket keys to make the brush bigger. Look, the brush goes above 100%. It's up to 220%. Okay, so I want my brush not too big here, but I want a nice softness. So I'm going to leave the softness at 100%. And I want to make sure that paint, look up here, see where it says paint, is selected. Now watch when I tap the canvas here with this brush. The effect went off of everything except for where I painted right there. Now watch when I paint. I'm just painting that adjustment onto the boat. Isn't that really awesome? So check that out. I'm just going to paint that on my boat right there and add detail to the boat. Okay, right like so. And I think I got it all painted. And then I can come up here and click done. And then see the little eyeball here on Topaz Studio Layer. And it even says Topaz Studio Layer. It names it for you. That's pretty cool. Click the eyeball. Okay, and you can see that adjustment is only on the boat, the before and after. Okay, and I like that because I want your eye to come right to this boat right here. And then I have this opacity right here. If I felt my adjustment was too strong, I can come to this opacity, give this a click, and maybe pull that off a little bit. Okay. In my case, I want it pretty strong. Maybe I'll back it off just a little bit. Let's leave it around 92%. Let's look at the before and after. There's the before and there's the after. So I like that. All right. A Luminar comes equipped with, as you've seen in the past in some of my videos, if you've watched them, I'm going to click on add filters here. There's 52 very super powerful filters. And I use these filters a lot right from Photoshop, okay? So in this image, what I want to do is add like a Orton effect or a glowing effect to this image, okay? And I could use the Orton effect right here. I'm not going to use it because I want to show you how these plugins are so powerful here. So I'm going to use Glamour Glow inside of Color Effects Pro 4 from the Nick collection. I could have just as easily have used the Orton effect here, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you the power of plugins using Luminar, because that's really what I think is so cool about Luminar. As far as I know, it's the only software solution that lets you use plugins outside of Photoshop. Topaz doesn't let you do it, nor does On One, and I don't believe you can use some plugins with Affinity software, but not all plugins. You can pretty much so with Luminar, which is really awesome. Okay, I'm going to click Add Filters just to get rid of my filter list here. And now I'm going to go back to Plugins and come to Other, and I'm looking for Color Effects Pro 4. Right here, give that a click, and we're going to launch Color Effects Pro 4. And I'm going to grab the Glamour Glow filter out of there. And I believe I've already used that, so it's going to come back up on the screen. And just for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and use the setting just the way I have it, because I adjusted it already, and I like my settings, the glow settings, the saturation, and the warmth here, as well as the shadow and highlight protections here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. But before I do, let me show you the click the compare button. There's the before and there's the after. I love Glamour Glow, and it does a beautiful job. So there you go. I'm going to click OK, and that'll bring us right back into Luminar. I almost said into Photoshop. I'm so used to saying that, but it is coming into Luminar, which is really cool. And check this out, guys. It labels it Color Effects Pro 4 layer. How cool is that? Really, really nice. Now, I don't want the effect to be on the boat here, okay? So what I'm going to do is come back to the little masking tool here, the little brush icon, give it a click, come to Brush, click on Brush, and I want to this time erase. So I'm going to click on Erase. All right. And I will begin to erase. I'm going to leave my brush the same size it was from before. This time you see there's a little negative on the brush, so watch. Now I'll be erasing the effect. So now that detail will come back onto the boat. The Glamour Glow will leave the boat. The boat will become detailed again after I erase the Glamour Glow from the boat. And then when I'm done, I will simply click Done here. Now let's click the eyeball here on the Color Effects Pro 4 layer. There we go. There's no Glamour Glow, and there's Glamour Glow. And you'll notice there's no Glamour Glow on the boat, which is really cool. The last thing I want to do before we end this video is use one of the filters inside of Luminar 2018. So let's go over to Add Filters and click Add Filters. Here's a really cool one in here, and I think you'll really like this one. See the one that says Top and Bottom Lighting? I'm going to give that a click. And the first thing you need to do with this, guys, is you need to set an orientation point. So you click on Set Orientation, and then you can take this and move this. I'm going to move it right on my horizon right here. Okay, and then what you do is you can adjust the bottom lighting. So if you move it to the right, you'll lighten the bottom. If you move it to the left, you'll darken it. In my case, I want to darken it somewhat, like maybe somewhere in there. And on the top, I want the top portion to be a little dark. It's a graduated filter, basically what it is. I can lighten it or I can darken it. So if I want it lighter, I just want to darken it just a little bit, not too much. Okay, and then I can come and take this graduation point here, like this one here, I can pull this up. So I only want to affect the top portion here, and I want it to graduate off as it comes down into the middle of the scene. And the same here at the bottom. I want it to just, you know, be dark here and start to fade up, because I want this boat to not have too much darkness on it. Okay, and let's click Done here. And then let's look at the before and after. Let's click this eyeball right here. There's the before, and there's the after. Well, there you go, guys. And I may want to add one more filter here. Let's click Add Filters. Whoops, I'm sorry, filters was already up in there. Sorry. And I want to get the, it's the tone filter, which is, where is it? It's right here, tone. So the tone filter, and I want to use the smart tone. This is kind of like artificial intelligence, but not quite. It's pretty powerful though. It's a very intelligent filter. So let's just move the smart tone to the right. I just want to brighten up the image just a little bit, the overall image, just a slight amount. And the Smart Tone's going to do that very intelligently for me. Okay, so let's click on the eyeball here. There's the before and there's the after. Well, there you go, guys. Now let's look at the entire before and after. Let's click Add Filters to get rid of these filters here. But let's click the eyeball. Here is the original, and here is after. Okay, so I used a couple plugins. I used Glamour Glow, and I also used the Detail Enhancer to bring out the detail in this boat. And I used a couple filters inside, well, 3 or 4 filters inside of Luminar. I used their Artificial Intelligence Accent AI filter. Super great filter. I love it. I use it a lot. And the other one, it's brand new, is the Accent, is the, what was it? Let's go to custom here, quick and awesome, because I know it's here. It was the AI Sky Enhancer filter, okay, which is really, really a cool filter. Okay, so that one right there. So, yeah, so the Accent AI filter and the Sky Enhancer filter, which is 2 really cool filters, as well as this tone filter and the top and bottom lighting filter. Okay, so there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one today. So maybe give Luminar a chance. And I believe they offer a free trial too. I'll give you a link in the description below where you can check out Luminar for yourself. All right, guys. And remember, December 18th, they're bringing out the digital asset management, okay, which is really nice. All right, guys, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and click the bell notification icon so you can be informed of all the new training videos I'm putting out. And also, please share this with your friends. All right, guys, I'll see you next time right here on The Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. See ya.